thank you. So, as Anna said, my name is Donnie. I'm from Lochaber in the Scottish Highlands, just next to Fort William. And I'm very happy to be back in Lleida, sharing some Scottish dancing and some music. Has anybody done Scottish dancing before?
2 years ago.
2 years ago here?
Yes.
Fantastic.
2 years ago.
Also, fantastic. Good. So the rest of you are totally new. Excellent. So we have, with Anna and me, we have 12, which is a good number for dancing. So later we'll do a little presentation and some music, and I'll explain a bit what I do. But first, let's try some movement. So can we make a circle?
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
And today we have more girls than boys. So today, for this dance, some of you will be boys. Don't worry, it's not permanent. It's only for this. Would you like to join us?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Just I'm looking where are you going to be exactly to put the camera in the correct place.
And basically in this space,
Good.
it's kind of moving around.
All right, so I think that's going to be okay.
Fantastic. Okay. Lovely stuff.
Yeah. Do you need me, or if not?
Yes. we need you.
Sorry.
Great. So, for this we'll say I am a boy. Girl. You're a boy. You're a 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 girl. Okay, so this is a very nice, simple dance to start. So we put our hands together and we take 4 steps in and 4 steps out. So we go in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, and again, in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, and stop. Hands down. Good. Now the boys do nothing. My favourite dance. And the girls will come in, 2, 3, clap, out, 2, 3, no clap. Only the girls. Ready? And in, 2, 3, out, 2, 3. Fantastic. Good. Now, the boys, look at the girl on your left. So, so this is your first partner. So boys, you will come in, 2, 3, turn left and stop and say hello to your partner. Okay, girls do nothing. Boys, ready? And in, 2, 3, turn left. Stop. Good, fantastic. And now everybody, girls and boys, put your hands on your hips, like Shakira. And we set. So what you need, we're going to go 3, right, 2, 3, left, 2, 3, right, 2, 3. Everybody, ready? And left, 2, 3, right, 2, 3, left, 2, 3, right, 2, 3. Fantastic. Different side.
Everybody.
Don't worry. So with your right arm, you're going to turn your partner for 8 steps. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Fantastic. And now, boys with your right hand and girls with your left hand, hands together. Fantastic, like that. Good. Very nice. So, that's right, yes, and with your... so the girls with your left hand. And the boys with your... Fantastic. So, there you go, like this. See? So we're going to go walking this way around the circle for 12 steps. So everyone's going to go around for 12. Ready? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And hands together still. We go back to the original circle with the girl on the right. Fantastic. Very good. So now we repeat the sequence. We go in for 4 and out for 4. Ready? And in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, and again. In, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, and girls go in and clap. Girls in, 2, 3, 2, 3, and stop. Good. Okay. Boys, you will see on your left, you have a different partner.
Yeah.
So we go in, 2, 3, turn left, say hello to your new partner. Ready? And in, 2, 3, turn left. Hello. And hands on hips. And this time, everybody goes to the left. So we're like this.
Okay.
So the inside circle goes anti-clockwise and the outside circle is clockwise. Let's try that. Ready? And left, 2, 3. Right, 2, 3. Left, 2, 3. So your left is this way. Okay, let's try again. One more time. Ready? And left, 2. No. So you're going to your left. Ready? And yes, 2, 3. There we go. 3. Left, 2, 3. Fantastic. And right arm turning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And hands together for walking. Ready? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And circle with the girl on the right. Very nice. Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Good. Fantastic. And 2, 3. And out, 2, 3. And again. 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3. And girls. In 2, 3. Okay, and stop. Good now, boys. This time, new partner on your left. This time I want you to shout. So we're going in, 2, 3, hey! Turn. Okay. Let's try that. Everybody ready? Boys, in 2, 3, hey! Left, hello. Hands on hips, ready? And left, 2, 3, right, 2, 3. Left, 2, 3, right, 2, 3. Turning, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And hands together for walking. And walking around the circle for 12 steps. But this time, on step number 7, I'm going to turn my partner. So what's your name? Anna. So Anna and I will walk for 12 steps. We'll do a demonstration. Okay, so just everyone watching, we're going to go like this. Fantastic. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Turn the girl. 9, 10, 11, 12 like that.
At 6?
That's 7. Yeah. So can you try that? Can you turn her? No, the other way.
The other way?
Outside. There you go. Fantastic.
Okay.
And turn like that. Very nice. Good. And turn. Fantastic.
I don't know if I do it always the other way around.
Very good. Yes. Okay, let's try that. Ready? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Turn. And 9, 10, 11, 12. And circle. Okay. Let's try with the music. Okay. See? Okay, here goes. So, hands together. Where was my space? Next to?
Yeah.
Don't mind. 2, 1,
So in 15 minutes, you have learned one Scottish dance. Very important. So, does anybody know the name of this dance? So, it's a dance that's very typical in Scotland, but originally it's not from Scotland. It's called the Circassian Circle. It's from Greece. It's somewhere around about Eastern Europe, something like that, yeah. This is a Scottish variation of the Circassian Circle. And this is very typical in Scotland at weddings. It's a nice dance for the guests to dance with each other and start the celebrations. So this is one dance. There are approximately 25 Scottish dances that I do with schools. Don't worry, because today we're not going to do 25, so 21 or 22 today. So, very nice. Let's try something different. And for this dance, I will need 2 volunteers. Thank you very much. What's your name?
Sylvia.
Sylvia and Maria. So Sylvia and Maria, let's see. If we make 2 lines, is it better for the camera like this or like this? What do you think? Probably like this, eh?
Yeah.
So Sylvia, you come with me. Fantastic. And let's make a space. And Sylvia and Maria, can you stand face to face with 2 hands together? And can I have 2 lines like this? So with my partner, hands together like that. Very nice. In fact, there's no escape. There's no escape. So, hands down. Very nice. So, in this formation, there are 2 dances we can do. So, there's a difficult dance and a very difficult dance. So, there's one which is very easy and one which is a bit more advanced. How do you feel?
Start with 1, 2, 3.
Start with the easy one. Okay, let's start with the easy one. Good. So this is a very nice dance for younger kids. I was yesterday in Vilassar de Mar, near Barcelona, and we had a session of primary kids, and this was their favourite one. Okay, so very easy. We're going to go forwards to clap, 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 back to cha, cha, cha. Ready, and forward 2. Back 2, and again, forward 2, back 2, stop, fantastic. So, Sylvia and Maria are the captains, so they will have 2 hands together, and they will jump like little rabbits, steps down, and jump back. So everyone else is clapping. Ready, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and stop, fantastic. Very nice, good. So the next part of this dance, very traditional and very important, called the banana. It's not the real name, just what I call it. So if you go to Scotland, don't say, you know, the banana dance, it's an English thing. So, Maria and your line don't move, and Sylvia and your line follow me. Very nice, around. Like this. And stop there, good. And this time, your line don't move, and Maria and your line follow me. Same again, and like this. And stop, good. Now, I call this banana because when we go together, it looks like peeling banana. So, Maria and Sylvia, banana together, and Sylvia, when you see Maria at the bottom, 2 hands together. So when you see your partner at the bottom, hands together and come up. Okay, let's try that. Ready? Very good. Yes. And hands together. And come up. Perfect. And make a tunnel. And the team captains go under the tunnel to the bottom. Very nice, easy peasy. And now we repeat the sequence. So we go forward to clap, 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 back to cha cha cha. Ready? And forward 2. rabbits, okay. Fantastic. So, little rabbits down for 8 and up for 8. Ready? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hands together and come to the top. Very nice. And under the tunnel. Fantastic. Good. Now, if we're feeling ambitious, with the little rabbit, there's a variation on the little rabbits, where we've got little rabbits down, and on the way back, we can turn each other up like this. So, try that. Okay? What the hero? I brought some water for everyone, so if you'd like a water, can we open a door as well to get a little bit of... Let's come and get a quick little water. Good, okay. Let's do a little bit of music. So, we're in the wrong place, we should do a camera. So, can I ask each person to take a chair and let's come and sit on the floor within view of the camera.
a run?
Yeah, in a circle, maybe, yes. I'll come here. Yeah. Good. So much. Okay. So. This is a nice way to practice English is to do songs or practice any language. And when I started doing workshops like this, Kaylee workshops, about 6 years ago, I didn't know which songs to sing with the young ones to get them involved. And sometimes you have to be quite careful what ones you pick. So for the younger students, I like to have kind of silly songs that have lots of actions and animals and noises they can make. And for the older ones, a song that has a bit of a story about an interesting person. So I'm going to do one today which is called Wild Mountain Thyme. Do you know Wild Mountain Thyme? So it has perhaps a few, one or two new words or unfamiliar words for you. So thyme in this context is not thyme in the watch. Thyme is the name of a plant. You pick it and you can cook with it. And I think I learned it is fanicola. And it is Thyme, and so wild mountain thyme. It's the thyme which grows wild on the mountain. And the second unfamiliar word is one that you said, which is lassie, which people, the first association is a dog. People say, it's a young woman. It's kind of similar to chica, I suppose, or muchacha, something like that. So, and the third word is heather. Do you know the word heather? Heather is very typical as a woman's name, but it's also a plant which grows on the moors that has small purple flowers. And I think in Catalan you say bruc, or brezo in Spanish, something like that. It's a typical moorland, but anyway, heather. So the words are, I need your help. Go, lassie, go.
Go, lassie, go.
And we all go together.
And we all go together.
To pick wild mountain thyme.
To pick wild mountain thyme.
Around the purple heather.
Around the purple heather.
Fantastic. So it's go, lassie, go.
Go, lassie, go.
And we all go together.
And we all go together.
To pick wild mountain thyme.
To pick wild mountain thyme.
Around the purple heather.
Around the purple heather.
And go, lassie, go.
Go, lassie, go.
Fantastic. Okay, so the music is like this. Go, lassie, go, and we'll all go together to pick wild mountain thyme around the purple heather. Go, lassie, Yeah? Come down a bit. Here we go. And we'll all go together to pick wild mountain thyme around the purple river. You go, lassie, go. Very nice. So it's a kind of romantic song, and a person trying to encourage lassie to come and enjoy the outdoor summer together. So I will sing some verses and you can help me with the chorus. The summertime has come and the leaves are sweetly blooming and the wild mountain thyme grows around the purple heather. Will you go? And we'll all go together to pick wild mountain thyme around the purple heather. Will you go, lassie, go? I will build my love a bower by yon cool, clear crystal fountain. And on it I will pile all the flowers of the mountain. Will you go, lassie, go? And we'll all go together to pick wild mountain thyme around the purple heather. Will you go, lassie, go? Last one. If my true love, she were gone, I would never find another where the wild mountain thyme grows around the purple heather. Will you go, lassie, go? And we'll all go together to pick wild mountain thyme around the purple heather. Will you go, lassie, go? Very nice. Give a round of applause. So, we'll start again because they the voices of angels.
Very good one day. All girls. Sopranos and contraltos.
So, the Wild Mountain Thyme is a very typical Scottish song, but the guitar is not the typical Scottish instrument. The guitar is a bit more. But we have a very typical Scottish instrument, which you may be more familiar with. Before we go to that, I forgot to talk about the kilt. So, this is quite a strange way to dress, I suppose, with men wearing skirts. But I always explain to the kids that sometimes, so my team is, sometimes in Scotland people wear a kilt and they say, you're wearing it every day? I say, well, not every day, just for special occasions, and today is a special occasion. And what do you think the material is?
Wool.
Yes, so the material is wool, which comes from sheep. So you can see we have red sheep and green sheep, psychedelic rainbow sheep. And the pattern is called tartan. So it's good, tartan. And there are many, many different tartans, and each tartan represents a family, a clan. And my name is Donnie, my surname is Nicholson, so everybody whose name is Nicholson or McNichol will have this same tartan, so you can identify people from the clan. And when I wear the kilt, I always have this is a belt, and this is ringionation. So yeah, a pouch or a bag. It's called a sporran. So sporran is just the Gaelic word for pouch. But we call this a sporran. And normally, when I wear the kilt, I have my joints, my socks, long socks, and inside my sock, normally, I have my knife. Today I don't have the knife. So it just goes in between the sock and the leg. And the knife has 3 functions. It's for eating my haggis, cleaning my teeth, saying hello to my friends. I'm not allowed to bring the knife into school. Anyone know the name of the knife? It's a very strange name. It's called a scian dú. Scian dú in Gaelic. Scian in Gaelic is knife, and dú means black, but it also means hidden, a hidden knife. And the tradition was in Highlands, when you go into someoe's house, you leave your weapons outside, and you would always have a little one in your sock just in case it's kicked off. So, scian dú, and that's the kilt. And I also didn't mention Gaelic. So, in Scotland, everybody speaks English, but there's another language some people speak called Gaelic. And there are approximately 60,000 people who have Gaelic as their native language. Not many. And now that I live in Catalonia, there are 59,900. So I'm a native Gaelic speaker. And you hear that in the Highlands of Scotland, when people speak English, there are a lot of Gaelic words. Even people who are not fluent speakers would use to describe things as well. And what else? So,
would you understand each other?
So, good question. They are Celtic languages, and I don't know if you're interested in history, so before the Anglo-Saxons arrived in the British Isles, before the trouble started, maybe that was around 400 AD, something like that, 3rd or 4th century. Anyway, everybody in the British Isles spoke Celtic languages. And then when the Anglo-Saxons arrived, they were very dominant, and they pushed the Celtic cultures to the fringes. So if you look at a map of the British Isles, you have the island of Ireland, especially the west of Ireland, Scotland, and 2 little areas, Wales, and a place in the very southwest of England, you know, the little toe of England called Cornwall, and an island which is between England and Ireland called the Isle of Man. In those places, to this day, more or less, there are some Celtic languages. So Scottish Gaelic is similar to Irish Gaelic. Approximately the same distance as Catalan and Castilian Spanish. So they are not the same language, but you can more or less understand what people are saying. If I see Irish written down, I can more or less read it, and when they speak, I can't.
So you read it with a Scottish, with a Gaelic or Scottish?
So if I can understand because you recognise the main words and you recognise the structure, but they have very different pronunciations. And then Welsh is very different again. Welsh is not at all, not at all. They're grammatically similar. They're very different from English.
But in Wales, there are schools that they are learning Welsh in schools. And in Scotland, it's the same.
So Wales is very impressive. They have 40% of people in Wales are fluent in Welsh. And since the Second World War, they've had a really big push in Wales to maintain their language. And in Scotland, sadly, it has not been the same until the last decade. We had a different government in Scotland, and they have been establishing Gaelic medium schools. So in my town in Fort William, the two primary schools are both Gaelic mediums. So children learn history and science and mathematics through Gaelic, which is hopefully the next generation.
Okay, so is it all subjects are taught in Gaelic, or is it half the subjects?
It's also Gaelic, except for English. Everything is taught in Yeah. So, and we have a very good television channel called BBC Alba, and radio stations. There's a lot of investment in Gaelic, which is good, I think. And what else?
What about women? Do they wear?
We have women as well.
Yeah. What do they wear on special occasions?
On special occasions, so women would. This particular style of kilt is normally only for men, except in pipe bands. So when you play the bagpipes in a band, the women will wear the exact same uniform. But at a wedding, for example, women could wear a longer tartan dress. But yeah, nowadays it's very common for women to wear something fashionable, like you would wear anywhere with a bit of tartan on it somewhere, maybe a sash or a brooch or some decoration. So, we mentioned a bit of more traditional music, and today I have here this small instrument is called a chanter. Chanter is small but very important, and it's a woodwind instrument, and if I open it, what do you think is inside this?
Surprise.
It's a knife. It's a small reed. How would you say this in Spanish? Una caña. Una de bravas. So yeah, it's a reed, and it has two tongues. So it's not like a clarinet, it's like an oboe or like a gralla. Double tongues. And how do you say bufa?
Blow.
So if I blow on this, it makes beautiful music. There we go. And in Scotland, that's very erotic and exotic is okay. If I put this together, I can play a melody like this. So, yeah, more or less. Does anyone know the name of that song? It's called Scotland the Brave. And yeah, it was the one of the unofficial and very typical Scottish song. Did you notice when I was playing, I didn't stop to breathe?
Yes.
It's not because I have enormous lungs. So the technique is that you blow through the mouth and you breathe in through the nose, and you use the cheeks like a little pouch to do that. So I remember being a wee boy sitting at home and practicing that and going, I hate this, it's terrible. My friends were outside playing football and I was there. Form of torture.
This is the kind of thing you would learn in the family. I mean, you wouldn't go to school, music school or something like that.
So for me, so I'm from a little small town called Fort William, which where you've been there. It's very, well, it's got a reputation for traditional music, especially the bagpipes. So there's a strong bagpipe tradition in that part of Scotland. And when I was at school, we were very lucky, and we had professional bagpipe teachers came into school, and they helped to train us and with the technique, the fingers and the blowing. And we had a very good pipe band in our school. We had about 30 bagpipe players and 10 drummers, and we would travel all over the country performing them. Yeah, and it was a great privilege to have that access to music. So this is the chanter. So when I was about 8 years old, I had to start with the chanter. And once you learn the technique, you put the chanter away and you get given a big instrument. So this is not for playing concerts, it's only for practicing. And I use this for practicing because the big instrument is very noisy and my neighbours don't have a sense of humour. So, here we got it. Please do, yes, absolutely. Yeah, for me. And in Spanish they say gaita, in Catalan it's and in Mallorca there's one called chirimia. Chirimia, which is similar idea. And in English it's called the bagpipes. And we say bagpipes because it is a bag. Logical. And what do you think you touched that, what's the material? Yes, it would, yeah, it's very, very hard wood. When you touch it, it feels, some people think it feels like plastic or something, but it's sorry?
It's very polished.
It's polished, yes. I was busy this afternoon. The wood is very polished, yeah. And inside the bag, do you think this is natural or artificial? Yes, it's made from Gore-Tex, because this is a modern bag. But traditionally, the bag from the bagpipes was made from the skin of a small Englishman. Very sad story. Actually, my first bagpipes, the bag was made from the skin of a pig, and it was very, very smelly. So I was happy when they invented the bagpipes. So to play this, I have to blow in here. And you see the bag inflating, as it were. And here, there is a valve, so the air goes into the bag, but it doesn't come back out into my mouth. And when the bag is fully inflated, I squeeze. And the air comes out of 3 pipes, and the big one is the bass, which is a constant, and these 2 are tenor, which is also constant. Any musicians here? Any musical players? Yeah. What do you play? Piano and violin. Good. So this is what it also piano as well. Oh, no, fantastic. Also, yeah. Okay, we have a band here. Great. So these three are what they call pedal notes in music. So it's just constant. So there's no variation in the sound. It's constant. And this one is just for blowing, and this one is for the melody. So. Specifically designed for playing outside, not inside. So that was two traditional songs on the bagpipe, and it's a nice finale to the event when I do with a group of kids, because they've been dancing, they've been singing, they've learned about the kilt, and at the end you get a surprise when they hear the pipes. Lovely. So, do you have any questions for me, curiosities?
The fingers are the same that we have the instrument?
Yes.
It's
It's
the same.
the same, yes. So,
For practice, we all know it.
yes, exactly. And then use this for performing, yeah. Exactly. And you maybe notice that it's different from like a recorder or a oboe or something where you put your fingertips on the notes.
Yeah.
You have the flat across.
And when you're finished, because you have to take the ear away from the back.
Yeah.
You cannot keep it this way.
The air. Yeah, you have to deflate, and also to dismantle, to take all the drones apart to carry it. Otherwise you have to have a very long bag. The first time I came to live in Spain, I was in Galicia, and this was 2007, I think, 2008, and I went there to learn the Galician gaita, and I was teaching people there how to play this, and
Are they different?
They're quite different, yeah. It's the same basic principle of a reservoir of air which feeds the drones and the melody and the chanting. But the Greek pipe is smaller. It's not, it's a sweeter sound, it's not as strident, and the chanter is chromatic, so it has more notes. This is a more, how would you say, rudimentary instrument, more basic. But the bagpipes, people associate it with Scotland maybe, or Galicia, but originally, the first bagpipes were from Egypt.
Every fascinating in the world.
For me too, yeah. So there's bagpipes in Macedonia, in Bulgaria, in Sardinia, Mallorca, lots of places.
By the way,
Yes.
can you explain a little bit any festivity
Yes.
from the last topic here? Well,
Exactly. I knew there was something I had to say, and that's the Shrine. Good. So, on Saturday, great. Yes, so last Saturday, the 25th of January, was an important date in the calendar of Scottish people. Do you know why?
Is it Burns up?
Yes. It's Burns Night. With Robert Burns, who is the unofficial, well, they call him the national poet of Scotland. So Robert Burns was a poet and songwriter and musician who lived in the late part of the 17th century, 18th century, so 1760 to 1796. And he was a very influential writer. He was what you call a romantic poet, so like William Wordsworth or Keats or something like that. Shelley, exactly. So the main themes were nature, the glorification of the natural world, a lot of romantic love poetry, and a lot of Scottish cultural symbols as well. I suppose the three pillars of the Romantic movement. And his life and works and attitude are celebrated every 25th of January. And people have a very specific celebration. Do you know something that happens at a Burns supper?
I prepared an activity, and if I remember correctly, it was you drink whiskey or
Yes.
you start,
To start.
you start by drinking whiskey, and you say you invite the people in. Is it something like this? And someone is welcoming the people, or and then you close the doors, or is it something I invented, or?
So, yeah, pretty much.
And people meet together to have supper. And is it something like this?
Yeah. That's a good start.
And you toast.
Yes, there's a very important poem called Address to the Haggis. This is one of Robert Burns' most famous poems. The haggis, of course, is the Scottish morphine. And the Address to the Haggis is an 8-verse poem which is written in Scots dialect. So it's not Gaelic, it's from the south of Scotland. It's an Anglo-Saxon language, very similar to English. And addressed to the haggis, and it's a glorification of this very simple, poor person's food. So, and that poem is always read at the start of a Burns supper. So, for example, on Saturday there's a Scottish restaurant in Barcelona, and they organised a Burns supper. And so everybody came into the restaurant. I was playing the bagpipes, and the chef comes out of the kitchen with a big trencher, a big tray with an enormous haggis on it, covered in flowers and decorated. It's kind of ironic because the haggis is a very simple, poor person's food. And very theatrical. So, Robert Burns was, as well as glorifying nature and being very romantic, he glorified this simple people's way of life. And he said, this simple, poor country, hard-working people are more human than the fancy, aristocratic ones with the nice clothes and the dragging up the middle of the road. And so by glorifying the haggis, he was glorifying the poor way of life. So the haggis comes in and goes down on the top table, and I stand up and I have my skier ready to cut the haggis, and I recite. Well, it's very theatrical. Would you like to hear a little?
Yes.
So in the original Scots version is, fair fa your honest sonsy face, great chieftain of the pudding race. Above them all you take your place, painch, tripe, or thirm, and well are you worthy of a grace as long as my arm. The groaning trencher there you fill, your hurdies like a distant hill, your pin would help to mend a mill in time of need, and from your pores the dews distill, as amber bead. So it goes on and on and on. And it becomes more and more exaggerated, and people know the words and enjoy them. So that's the start of the Burns supper. And then everybody eats haggis, neeps and tatties, which is turnip and potatoes, and a little bit of whiskey maybe. And then we start to do songs, and people know a lot of Robert Burns, the simpler Robert Burns songs, and usually everybody will contribute something. Everybody will stand up and say one poem or one song or something. And yeah, it's very, very nice. Every year people do it. I remember being a wee boy, and in my house we never ever ate haggis except on the 25th of January. It was the only day. I'm very thankful to my parents for that, because we did sheep's stomach in that bag. So that's the Burns supper, which is very. So the official Scottish National Day is the 30th of November, which is St. Andrew's Day. But nobody really celebrates that. Everyone celebrates the Burns Day because it's more fun.
Yeah.
And the other thing Anna asked me to do was to share a bit of Gaelic language. So Celtic language is very interesting grammatically. There's no verb, there's no possessive verb in Gaelic. There's no verb to have something. So we have a complicated system of what do you call them? Personalized pronouns to talk about possession. There's no conjugations, but there are declensions, there are 4 declensions. And there's a nice song, which I'm going to sing, a very short song, which is called Antes tu Lauma Valley, which means, will you come with me, Mary, or will you come with me, Mary? So this is a Highland man, very similar theme to the other song with that sang. It's a Highland man living in the mountains in the north of Scotland, singing to try and convince a lowland lassie to come to live in the Highlands, because and she thinks, well, it's cold, it rains, and people speak Gaelic. And he's singing all these things. Chain to Lauma Valley means, will you come with me? So it goes, Antes tu Lauma Valley, Antes tu Lauma Valley, Antes tu Lauma Valley down, Gutir na miautan arste, Hakro a kinerari, Es lui a moch gavade, Hashin a kin es kurig vul, Riuten na miautan arste. There you go, I love that. Did this sound similar to any other language? Some people think it sounds Eastern European or something, but it's different. That is an aspect of Scottish culture that I normally don't include in the workshops with kids because we try and keep it as English for it's like poc a poc, no? So, anything else?
Fill it out for the question you have. Something you would like to say. Now or never.
Did you go to different schools, engage with from you and we ask you to?
I do, yes. So I'm based now in Barcelona and I travel around Catalonia and other places, Mallorca and places, and visiting schools, institutos, escolas oficiales de idiomas, and usually the schools hire me because it's an interactive event in English and kids are learning English. So originally it was 90 minutes, each session was 90 minutes with a maximum 60 students per session. Recently some schools have been asking for shorter sessions to fit their school schedule, but I can adapt to do more or less. I would be delighted to come to school and meet your kids.
60 kids dancing.
So I have a microphone. I have Britney Spears microphone. Yeah, we had one in Tarragona 2 weeks ago where there was 85 segundo verso dancing. But it was good. They were really nice. Yeah.
You're very brave.
I think it's like just every second of every moment of the activity is like boom, 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 boom. You know what's happening. There's no moment where I'm like, what do I do? Because then you lose it.
And have you got a website?
Yes, website. I've got some promotional materials there. Which
Okay, wonderful.
One of that, if you don't mind, I'm going to give you your contact address, and they can keep in touch.
Okay, nice to meet you. Thanks for coming. The one question which always, without fail, is asked at the end of the sessions. Is there any questions? A little forest of little hands goes up. Is it true you don't wear underwear? I wonder why it's such a famous. I don't know why they all know about it. So when I'm asked that very important question, I answer them by talking about the Loch Ness Monster, which is that, who was it said they saw Loch Ness and it was brown? Who was it brown? Yes, you did. So if you go to Loch Ness, the water is quite dark, partly because it's very, very, very deep. And at the bottom of the loch there is a fault line. Not a fault line, so we're two tectonic plates deep. So sometimes when the plates move, there's gas and bubbles from the center of the earth goes up through the water. And if you're looking at the surface of the water, it's dark and sometimes there are bubbles and movement and things. So historically, people said that Loch Ness had evil spirits because it was dark water and it was moving and it was an enchanted place. And they would say, Nach na an the Loch Ness, which means thou shouldn't swim in Loch Ness. And about 100 years ago, 1902, there was an English journalist from the Daily Mail in London. This is where the problems start. Came to Scotland and was doing a report for the newspaper about the Scottish Highlands, and he took a photograph of Loch Ness and he put a wooden object that looked like the head of a monster coming out. And they printed it on the front page of the Daily Mail and said, monster in Loch Ness. And so the legend changed from being evil spirits in Loch Ness to being a monster in Loch Ness. And from that moment, tourists from England started coming up. Let's go and look for the Loch Ness monster. And we said, come tourists with your money and look for the monster. It was a very good favour. And to this day, tourists from all over the world come, and there's a visitor centre, or 2 visitor centres actually, and people spend their euros and their dollars and their zlotys and their yens and look for the monster. And to this day, nobody has ever seen the Loch Ness monster, and that's why we say the Loch Ness monster is the great Scottish mystery number 2. And the number 1 is the answer to your question. So, that's that. Thank you very much for coming. I'll be very happy. Oh, shall we do a photo? Oh, we got that thing.
Yeah, we can do the photo as well. Yeah.
Let's do a photo as well. Let's come here.
I think that I'm talking in name of everybody here, just to thank you being here and having so fun, yeah. And I think that we have enjoyed this time and we have learned a little bit more this Scottish culture and dancing and songs, poems, everything.
Great.
So thank you very
My
much.
pleasure.